The Foreigner is set in a rural fishing lodge in Georgia a few decades ago. And the fishing lodge is run by a lady named Betty Meeks. And she has, as a frequent guest at her lodge, a British Army sergeant, Sergeant LeSueur, who comes to Georgia at regular intervals to participate in training exercises with the American military. And on this particular occasion, Sergeant LeSueur has brought a friend with him, a man named Charlie, a fellow Englishman, who's having some stressful times at home and needs to get away from it all. But the problem is that Charlie is almost pathologically shy. And the prospect of making small talk with Betty and her other guests at the lodge just terrifies the man. So Sergeant LeSueur comes up with a plan. He tells Betty and Charlie's fellow guests that Charlie is a quote-unquote foreigner from an unnamed country where they speak no English. And Sergeant LeSueur thinks that this will lead everybody to leave Charlie alone, but in fact it has entirely the opposite effect. These Georgians are thrilled to have a foreigner in their midst. They think he is exotic and exciting, and they can't wait to interact with him. The show is very, very funny, but it is also very touching, very human, very real. It is filled with characters that the audience comes to care about and root for. And some of them are very different from what we think they are at the beginning. We think that Charlie is very shy, very dull, and he turns out to be a marvelous, witty hero. We think that a girl is shallow and spoiled, but she turns out to have real depth and humanity. And we think that one man is very charming and kind, and he turns out to be a villain. And I think watching those transformations happen is part of the audience's delight in the play. I think that The Foreigner is one of the most enjoyable, fulfilling evenings you can spend in the theater. The Foreigner, opening July 5th. We'll see you at the theater.